sound like they're tough on crime. On the one hand, National's trying to strengthen FBOs. On the other hand, the Minister, Nicole McLeod's name is synonymous with the pro-gun lobby in New Zealand. Everyone knows that. And they want to bring back military-style semi-automatic weapons. So which is it? Pick a lane. Just trying to sound tough on crime really isn't cutting it. And I think people will start seeing through this pretty quickly. I'll be very quick, Mr. Speaker, because my colleagues have traversed the reasons why we on this side oppose this piece of legislation. But the 2 points that I wanted to make really quickly is the fact that it's firstly too soon. FBOs, as members opposite have also acknowledged, was brought into play in 2021. So whether it needs to be strengthened to the level that we're seeing in this proposed legislation remains to be seen, Mr. Speaker. We don't actually have the evidence. There's been no evaluation that has been undertaken of the current legislation, let alone, knowing whether widening the current police powers to such warrantless and causeless searches is even necessary. So as my colleague, Dr. Duncan Webb has outlined, this is an unnecessary piece of legislation that's occupying the House's time. The second point that he also made very clearly, and I just wanted to highlight, was the fact that these are warrantless and causeless searches that will come into play as a result of this legislation being passed. There is, of course, the potential to misuse this. It is incredibly broad. It is unwarranted. It is unnecessary, Mr. Speaker. And for all those reasons, I do not commend this bill to the House.
Gee, she talks fast. I need to slow it down.
She's probably learned public speaking.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, look, we have a focus on the fact that she's saying that it's kind of wide and the powers might be abused. Look, in a way, it's actually meant to just focus on those places selling drugs, and then they can go in and then slap the firearms prohibition order on them if 6 or 7 or 3 or 4 illegal firearms are found, which doesn't have license. Unless you have a license, see, I got my license, and this is just a joke. Okay?
Do you actually have a gun license, Eric?
No, you can come and search my house, and you'll find like the book on strategy, on Wilbur Smith books, and But no,
I'll be honest, I did look at it when I was part of ATC. So at that point. However, I've long left 49 Squadron, which was my one, which was the Kapiti Coast ATC cadet unit. And yeah, I've not had a desire to have a gun license since. But it was one of those things, at that point it made a little bit of sense to have that. And I remember some of the safety bullshit we had to go up with for there, like having to have the gun safe, and like the fact we had 2 keys and we had to have the unit commander have 1 key that lived at his house. There had to be another key that had to live with the second in command in another house. The whole, 9 yards of it. I do remember that we did fail the safety inspection because it wasn't bolted to the ground, but you would have needed to have a hired truck to get the safe off the ground.
All right. Wow. I think that there are kind of many rules and regulations. I mean, the last time I think there was this rule that you have to lock up your firearms, right, in a casing, and must make sure it's high enough so that kids don't reach it. And there was a tragic incident.
Gun locks on the triggers.
Yes. I think I read somewhere about 10, 15 years ago in US, one of the kids of someone who owned guns actually took the gun and thought it was like a plastic gun and shot the dad. That was tragic, and that should have been locked up, although he had a legal license. So it's more about the targeting is more like very much focused on gangs selling methamphetamine, destroying our youth, our Kiwi, Maori youth, that kind of thing. It's not targeted, I feel, at center.
Remember, it might very much be that target that the aim of the law is at, but as soon as you give some leeway in that, like giving the cops powers they haven't had before, that automatically means that it can have that potential to be used in ways that it wasn't designed for. And